I actually found Orange County Playwrights Alliance, and I was writing with them. They meet on Saturday mornings, and Eric, Everween, who is their main coordinator, he introduced me to Breath of Fire. He said, I really think you would, like that group. And so I started going to Breath of Fire meetings, and that's, I've been with them for 2 years now, writing and attending their workshops. Well, this play actually is from my own personal experience from one of the Christmases that we had. And I thought it would be a great story because I always tell my grandchildren that I'm sorry that they missed out on the kind of childhood that I had, they don't seem to have had as much fun as I did in the way that I did. And so I wanted to write a Christmas story about that time. The 50s was a very much more slower time. It was in some ways people worked really hard, and it seemed simpler in a lot of ways though. So I thought that would make a really good story, So that's kind of how that came about. The story actually is about a widowed woman who has 6 children, and she is having very difficult time financially to make ends meet. So she is struggling to do everything she possibly can to make the first Christmas the children will have without their father. And she is practically giving up hope and faith that things will not get better. So the community comes to her aid to help her and her children to have a very nice Christmas after all. And then she gets her faith back and her happiness back about having Christmas. It's a universal story. There's a lot of reasons why a woman would end up having to care for her children and the daily struggles of life. People can relate to that. The characters, I think people would really enjoy the characters. We have Loco Joe. He's a teenager who is not, he doesn't care about fashion or anything. He has a big heart, and he likes one of the daughters, Luz. But she's the opposite. She really likes fashion. She likes, dressing up fancy. She likes jewelry and everything. And, so it's one of those, the opposites attract, the older daughter, she has a boyfriend, and they're nominated to be winter and there's a winter dance, and she's nominated to be the queen, and he's nominated to be the king. And so, a lot of people can relate to that, wanting to go to the prom or wanting to go to a quinceañera, being considered special. So there's that part of the story. And then there's a mean landlord, so a lot of people probably have had some time when they've had difficulty paying the rent, and the landlord is not understanding, because he needs the money and that kind of thing. So we have that element in there. I think people can relate to that, not only for rent, but maybe something else, that they can sympathize with the situation. Then we have the uncle, Natividad, who's just a jolly guy, and he wants to be supportive. But he has his own family, and he has his own problems, and and he just makes enough himself, for he and his family. But he wants to help his sister and her children, get through this first year without, their dad. And in the in the middle of the story is the mom tells them a story about the Aztecs of where they came from. And so there's a beautiful little fantasy about their Aztec heritage. And the characters in the original family will become the characters in the Aztec family. What I feel the message is about family love and community love. You know, it's about how even though there's sibling rivalry and the mom is stressed, you know, they come together for one another for that special day to make it special for one another. And the community comes together to make and help the family to have that, you know, not lose faith or hope. And so that's the love that they have for each other, because community can be like brothers and sisters, and it can be very close to them just as you are your own blood brothers and sisters. I think everybody would have a fun time. Like I say, the characters, I think there's enough characters in there that somebody can relate to. You know, it's and then we're going to have a sing along at the end. So it really, you know, you leave singing.